Hello, and welcome to Draw With Me. I'm Danny Gregory, and it's Thursday, and we are just digesting all of those beautiful pre-Thanksgiving drawings that we just saw. And I'm joined here by my better half.
Hello, everyone.
This is JJ, and what did you think? I mean, there was a lot of beautiful foods.
I really never tire of thinking about Thanksgiving dinner, and I'm tempted to just do it again today. What do you think? Just keep going?
I think we're just going to do that. I think maybe we'll do a Christmas dinner, or maybe we'll do like a New Year's feast or whatever. Yeah.
You did say, what are all these leeks right before we started? And I said, I'm making potato leek soup. And I heard your stomach audibly growl.
I like a good leek.
Yeah.
But yes, and there was a lot of people who did sort of vegan, plant-based things.
A lot of good riffs on the meal.
Not everybody likes to
Some people like canned cranberry.
Not everybody wants a giant dead bird.
Yeah, maybe there's a future where animals don't have to be killed for our pleasure.
A reason to give thanks, yes. So, so that was fun. And what do we have to talk about today? We just got a new couch yesterday.
Oh, it is heavenly.
We've been living in this house since the pandemic began, and we have not had a couch until yesterday.
Yeah, we moved here, and it was furnished with some ramshackle furniture. And
so we have a couch. We can lounge about now by the fire, and
life is good.
We can lie there after.
In fact, we're gonna lie there tonight eating potato leek soup.
And after our Thanksgiving feast, we can what is it called? Tryptophan. We can be overwhelmed by waves of tryptophan and lie there like big lugs. So yes, we're happy about that. Yes. So today, let me just run through a couple things, and then we're going to be tackling a different kind of bird.
We're going.
Now that I think about it.
Yeah.
It's another take on a bird. But let me just tell you about a few things that are here, there, and coming up.
Yeah. If you haven't already signed up.
Yes, we'll get to that.
Got it.
We're beginning with the podcast continues, I think, to be pretty good. And this week we have Mark Golden on it. Mark Golden is the CEO, founder of Golden Colors, Golden Paints.
I mean, let me just say you're so lucky to get him to come on.
I know, it's true.
What a cool guy.
He's a very interesting guy.
He's just, he's a legend.
So Golden is like an amazing paint company. But what's interesting about Mark and this conversation that we had, which, I mean, honestly, I had to cut it off after an hour because we could have kept talking because there was so many interesting stories from him. But he's worked basically with all of the great artists of like the last 50 years because his father, his uncle, I think maybe even his grandfather were all in the art supply business in Manhattan. So all of the abstract expressionists in the 50s, they made all their paint. And their art supply store was the place that, everybody from like Rothko, Pollock, all these guys hung out there. And then when Mark came up and started his own company, he was making paint for Andy Warhol and all these other guys. So it was just really interesting to talk about that and to talk about his foundation. So if you're looking for something to play in the background while you, I don't know, do calisthenics or
make soup,
cook soup,
because everybody's going to want potato leek soup,
or
now.
Maybe even draw, you can listen to it. So, yes, Pen and Ink Wash. That's our workshop that's coming up.
The doors close tomorrow.
You're out of time. Tomorrow. I know you've been putting it off because you're dying to learn about the kind of beautiful work that Chris Kaler makes, but also particularly using a wash with ink. It is not something that is necessarily, obvious how to do, and he does it so beautifully. He's an incredible teacher. So this is it. This is the last, or the second to last workshop we're going to be doing this year, probably. So go to sketch.tiny.us/wash, sign up for it. If you're a Spark member, make sure you get there because, of course, this is part of your membership. So what else? Hahnemühle. This week I'm going to be using this 100% cotton sketchbook. It's my favorite, really.
It
is great.
It's luxury.
It is. So it's
true luxury.
It is a beautiful thing to watercolor in, and some of you will get to do it. Has anybody won anything recently that they would like to announce? I'm just looking back through the chat. I'm sure there are people who've been getting free stuff from Hahnemühle from us, via us. But let me see. I'm just looking. Do you know anybody who? I know that there's here Rachel G. She won a sketchbook from last week. Yeah, so there's every
nice.
week.
She already got it from last week. She got a zigzag?
I guess so.
Cool.
'Cause every week we're giving away, multiple ones. So
yeah. So what do we have this week? Well,
this week we have the 100% cotton.
Okay, we have 4. Wow, and these are premium goodness.
It's true.
Yeah.
And then we also have the Cotton metallic watercolor set from Hahnemühle. From Winsor Newton. This would be actually kind of good for today. I should have even thought of that. Maybe I'll do that.
I thought that was kind of part of the point.
No.
When we first talked about it.
I have different plans for this.
Yeah. Hey, one more thing we should mention.
Yes.
Just because it's nice. Tomorrow is Veterans Day. Here in America, at least. We know this is a global audience, but veterans, we're going to honor veterans by gathering our family and having potato leek soup.
It's a tradition in this country, at least, to have potato leek soup on Veterans Day.
Look, but I think I think it deserves a shout out. We are so grateful for everyone who serves, and we've supported Ukraine on this show, and it's appalling that's still happening. And I just want to say thank you.
And yes, absolutely. Our nephew is in the Coast Guard, and he won't be joining us for
He's based in Boston.
But maybe we'll talk him on the phone. So yes. All right. Good. Well, so today, I'm not even sure how we came up with this idea. JJ and I were just discussing what we would want to do.
I'll tell you how we came up with it.
Yeah.
The success of fish.
Fish, yes.
Yeah.
So a while ago, we drew a fish. And that was the first time I used these metallics. And we thought, because we've been doing a lot of kind of fast-paced things of late, right? We do that whole Thanksgiving feast. We did the art supply relay. So now we're going to spend some time on one thing and just go deep. And it's an animal. We decided to go for an owl. Owls are.
We really like owls.
We like owls.
Oh, I know why. Because we do get owls in our yard, and we haven't seen them yet this year. Right. And we're hoping to attract them.
We've had big owls and small owls.
Yeah.
And it's time.
Usually in the wintertime. So we're hoping that the laws of attraction will, if we give the concentrated thought to the beauty of the owl, that it will come nest in our tree.
Very good. Yes. So the concerted power of all of us drawing an owl will draw an owl to our yard.
Yes.
Here's an owl.
A lot of people are chiming in.
People like owls.
Yeah,
owls are great.
They are cool.
Look at how beautiful this owl is. So this is an owl. This is a particular owl. This is a great horned owl, which are incredible predators. They are very powerful animals. This particular owl was. Somebody found him caught up in a fence.
Let's not talk about that.
He had a broken wing, and they thought that he maybe had got hit by a car. And so this is at where was it? It was Vanderbilt University in Tennessee, and they took him in. They bandaged him up. They fixed him up, and this was like 10 years ago. He's now, doing well and living out there in their preserve. So
sanctuary.
Yeah. They are very nice and beautiful. So we're going to draw him, and I also have set it up so that we can have a closer view of him as well, which I think will be helpful because that face is insane.
The eyes.
Yeah,
wow.
Really good. So, but we'll start broad, and I'm thinking I'm going to use a dip pen. I had a kind of disastrous outing with ink the other day. In fact, I meant to bring in a hairdryer.
Do you want me to go get it?
We might need to do that, yeah.
Do you want me to go get it now?
You might as well. Yeah, if you don't mind. So we are going to start. So I think I'm just going to just jump in. And the reason I'm thinking dip pen is because there's just a lot of textures in this owl, and I'm just interested in kind of having at all those all those textures of the feathers and stuff like that. So, usually the way that I start kind of every drawing, it seems, is... Thanks. You can plug it in over there. I'm not going to need it for a little while, but yeah. I just kind of draw starting in the upper right-hand corner. It's particularly a good idea when you're using a dip pen to start in the direction of your non-dominant hand, just because, that way you're less likely to smear it. No, you can plug it into the thing, yeah.
Sorry, I didn't see that. Cord just really twisted up. This is not a new hairdryer. Whoa, hey now.
Whoa. Okay.
Hey, look, it's
working.
It just proves that it's all happening live.
Yeah, so we have that hairdryer standing by just because
you had a disaster. And now I've learned.
I don't know that I've learned.
Disaster.
Well, I don't know that I've learned that yet, but yes, it's true.
What about this Twinkie feet?
Excuse me, we're on the air.
Everybody likes to see this little doll. Yes.
All right, so we're drawing owls. And yeah, there's just a lot of interesting details in him, but I want to make sure I get this eye right, because the eye is... Could you make out with that animal some other time, some other place?
I can't resist her.
So owls, I don't know a huge amount about them, but they can't move their eyes. They can't. Their eyes are different than ours. They're not spheres. They are like tubes or something.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they're tubes that are like bolted to their heads. So that's why they turn their heads as much as they do, because they can't turn their eyes.
Do you want me to Google great horned owl? See what I can learn?
Yeah, do
it. Here's the second question on Google. Can a great horned owl pick up a 20-pound dog? Coincidentally,
our dog is 20 pounds.
Twiggy is 20 pounds. Due to its strength and size, the great horned owl is the only owl species that would be able to pick up a small dog consistently, but only as much as 9 pounds. Wow. Oof. That would not be a happy day. Speaking of which, we saw a coyote in our yard, and I think they could get a 20-pound dog, so we've been, monitoring.
Coyote is basically a 40-pound dog, isn't it? How much does a coyote weigh?
I mean, this one looked well fed. That's all I'm going to say about that. But so we went to, we saw so firstly, one of the neighbors asked, has anyone seen a predatory animal? And then the next day I saw the coyote. And then the next day we went to the Herd Museum here in Phoenix, which if you ever do visit Phoenix is atop of the list. It's world-renowned museum, and it focuses on indigenous peoples. And this show was curated. I'm not going to remember the name of the guy in New York, but it was about the environments of 4 native tribes.
Was it cosmology? Yeah.
Well, and it just was so beautiful. Anyway, I'm not going to do it justice with my ramble. But one of our favorite pieces that we saw in the show was a gorgeous painting by an artist named Stephen Yazzie. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. But he works out of Denver, Colorado, and it was about a coyote, and it was about the coyote being representative of our own, morality, like the fact that we aren't always our best selves, but that it's essential to love this part of ourselves and to recognize it as, to be a fully integrated person. You have many facets, but the coyote as, the mythology of the coyote in native culture is quite celebrated, and
they're the mischief maker.
Yeah, Yeah, they bring a little chaos, but they're also revered and they're essential, right? They're an essential part of life. So anyway, it flipped the narrative in my mind about this coyote that I felt was very threatening to our property and our beloved Twiggy, but to realize that they are, I mean, just like human beings, you can't, you need both sides of life, right? You need both
Well, his
sides.
paintings are of coyotes like in somebody's living room, standing on an armchair or something. So, like, really violating what we think of as the human sphere. But this guy is
Stephen Yazzie, Yazzie.
He is a Navajo, right?
Yes, I believe so, yes.
He's a Navajo, he's an ex-Marine, but he does these amazing art pieces. Like, he did this piece, which I will be sharing in the Tuesday essay, which is where he built a little vehicle, like a little kind of soapbox derby sort of go-kart that is, moves by gravity. And he drives it sometimes like 30 or 40 miles an hour. And he has it set up so that he can draw while driving.
I mean, we died laughing watching this thing. It's just so extraordinary.
So he's like driving down a road with cars on this thing, and he is driving with one hand and drawing with the other, drawing the landscape that's unfolding in front of him.
It's kind of like a real Fred Flintstone car. Like he's got, levers, pedals, but it's not motorized, but it does
it's still
go.
Going.
It was going. And in fact, there was one wipeout. I mean, it's just,
pretty amazing. So
go to his website, check it all out. We are,
but I would also say, don't
fans.
Don't drive and draw. Don't. Yeah. He's a professional.
Speaking of wipeouts, right?
He's a professional. Don't do it. But you can if somebody else is driving and you're just sitting in the passenger seat. It's actually a pretty cool thing to do, is to draw while moving. So think about it.
All right, I've Googled great horned owl, and if you would like me to provide some commentary, I'd be willing to do that.
That's very good of you.
You just say the word.
Yeah, by all means.
Okay. Great horned owls have large eyes.
Thank you, Google.
Pupils that open widely in the dark, and retinas containing many rod cells for excellent night vision. Their eyes don't move in their sockets, but they can swivel their heads more than 180 degrees to look in any direction. They also have sensitive hearing, thanks in part to fascial disc feathers that direct sound waves to their ears. That's pretty cool.
So are these things ears that are sticking out of the top of the head?
No, I think they're
just like feathers.
They're feathers, but they're like acoustical boosters. Acoustical boost.
Acoustic boosters.
Yeah. This is also sort of interesting. Even though the female great horned owl is larger than her mate, the male has a larger voice box and a deeper voice. Pairs often call together with audible differences in pitch.
So we've heard owls,
yes.
Right?
That's how we know we had them in our backyard. Although we haven't heard them since, I think the last time I heard them was January of last year.
So one evening a couple years ago, we were sitting out in our backyard, and there's a cable, like a electric line that runs into our house from the electric pole outside, and we noticed that this pole was waving up and down,
bouncing, and we were like, "What is that?"
Because there was nothing on it. There was nothing on it except it was moving like that, and then we followed it along, and we realized that way over on the other side where the phone pole was, there was a giant owl sitting up there. And he weighed so much that he had was bouncing this entire thing. So, and he sat there for a long time, right? We watched him for
we were
20 minutes maybe.
We were gobsmacked.
We'd never seen it before.
He was he was just really cool. All right, here's another interesting little factlet for you.
Okay.
If you hear an agitated group of cawing American crows, they may be mobbing a great horned owl. Crows may gather from near and far and harass the owl for hours. The crows have good reason because the great horned owl is their most dangerous predator.
We've seen them harassing hawks.
Well, yeah, so maybe these crows so the crows have recently come to our neighbor's yard, and we've been commenting on that. So maybe there's owl activity that we're not yet aware of.
Maybe they're going to keep the owls away.
Let's.
We also had a little tiny owl sitting on the fence one night.
What were those? They're like burrowing owls. I think we saw those in Florida.
They have kind of long legs, and
they're just cute as can be.
But they're still deadly predators. So.
All right. Great horned owls are covered in extremely soft feathers that insulate them against the cold winter weather and help them fly very quietly in pursuit of prey. Their short, wide wings allow them to maneuver among the trees of the forest.
Makes sense.
That's just lovely.
But they're not particularly smart. The whole like wise owl thing isn't true. That other birds are actually smarter than them. Significantly smarter than them.
I wasn't going to talk about that.
Why?
Yeah, because we're like trying to attract the owl.
We're myth busting here.
No, we're trying to bring it to the yard.
We want dumb owls.
No. Don't be. Yeah.
Do people eat them?
Oh my gosh! Don't even. That's just a horrible thought to I mean, honestly, I shouldn't be offended because we just talked about eating turkeys, and why is a owl any better than a turkey? I don't know. We should all be vegans.
Owls, I mean, turkeys are not particularly, I mean, I guess turkeys are kind of beautiful, actually. I was going to say they're not particularly interesting, but they are actually quite beautiful. Look at those Audubon drawings of owls that he did. They're not even drawings, they're prints, but. Oh, and Corinne says she gets coyotes, but we also had, what did our neighbors say we had?
A bobcat. Well, they said they had a bobcat. It felt like a one-upment. Like I wrote about the coyote and they were like, yeah, well, we had
keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah, I was like, come on, guys. Like,
although we did see, what did we see in Pasadena that time, remember? When we were going to...
Oh, a mountain lion.
Yeah. So a mountain lion
Corinne,
coming out of our friend's front yard as we were pulling up in the car. God, nature is lit, as they say.
Yeah, nature is lit.
In New York, no.
Yeah, that's not true. We had the great red-tailed hawk, like right on.
Yeah, they were pretty cool. There was
New York has. Don't. It doesn't. For something to be good, something else doesn't have to be bad.
Really?
Yeah.
But. When we lived in New York, we lived in Greenwich Village by Washington Square Park, and there were peregrine falcons, and there was a red-tailed hawk also that lived there. And in fact, the president of NYU, because this is the center of NYU's campus, had a webcam set up on the windowsill of the office there.
Like a live feed.
A live feed, because the red-tailed hawk would make its nest up there, and then you could watch the feed and see it bringing in food for its babies as they were born. And one time it
don't talk about that.
Bring in squirrels from the park and things
squirrels.
Like that, pigeons.
Nothing more than squirrels. And, just calm down. People
JJ
are going to get
want
really
me to
upset.
Say that there was other things that are brought in sometimes.
Yeah.
But never a pug. No pugs.
This is not good. This is not what we want. But we did kill the gopher. Did we talk about that last week?
Yeah.
We killed the gopher?
We killed the gopher. We've been harassed by a gopher, and we actually
I thought I was going to eat all of our trees.
I think we've talked about it enough.
Yeah, let's move on from the meeting.
Nobody wants to hear about us killing.
But I have to say that moment, I think might have been when I officially felt like we'd moved to Phoenix.
I thought it was when we got our couch.
Well, those two things have happened in less than a week.
That's true. But yeah. Did you kind of feel some kind of stirrings in you because I was manly enough to kill a gopher? You're like, you know what? Did you look at me differently?
I would love for everyone picturing us as we're laying the trap, bickering, and that I'm insisting we put peanut butter on the
Oh
trap, and
gosh.
you're like, absolutely not. And then we've got peanut butter all over and covered in dirt, and the two of us bickering. Honestly, it was. I was glad that we were successful, because if we would have had to do it again, we might have
Killed each
come to
other?
blows, punched each other out in the yard. And it was really, yeah.
Yeah. JJ just didn't understand the fundamental thing about hunting like I know.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, and if you hadn't done the peanut butter, you might not have
Oh
had the instant
no.
six. Yeah, the peanut butter.
Oh no. That peanut butter is not getting credit for my kill. I hope you guys are enjoying drawing this out because I gotta say there's so much stuff in it, right? There's so many details. You know, I'm trying to think of like great owl art, and the one that comes to mind is Ernest Shepard, who was the amazing illustrator of Winnie the Pooh and of Wind in the Willows. Two really great.
I thought you were going to reference your actual personal friend, Walton Ford.
My friend Walton Ford is a pretty famous painter. We met when we were 15, I think. And Walton does incredible watercolors.
Large format, like really
giant. I mean, he does basically the largest watercolors that anybody has ever made. He has the special watercolor paper that's mounted on sheets of metal aluminum that are normally used for building planes with. And his stuff is, if you imagine what Audubon prints look like, but imagine that instead a lot of them have other meanings, other stories to them. And every animal that he paints life size. So life-sized. He did a life-sized elephant watercolor. He did a life-size King Kong, and he's done some beautiful owls and all kinds of birds, carrier pigeons. He did one huge painting that was like about a sort of an infestation of birds. Well, he did a bunch of lions. So again, imagine life-size lions, but they were all in kind of modern environments. So he had one that was next to a swimming pool in Beverly Hills, and then he did one that was about the La Brea tar pits.
Oh, that's right.
And all these animals, saber-tooths and mammoths, coming out of the La Brea tar pits and kind of attacking LA.
Hey, Drew is asking, what kind of pen does Danny have? Can you show?
So this is this handle is a Kohinoor handle, which is kind of messed up right now. But this is a G nib. So it's a nib made by it's a Japanese company, but it is called Zebra, and this nib is a G. It's called a G because if you look at it from the side, it's sort of can you see that this side is clogged up, but imagine this is sort of G shaped except backwards. So it's called a G nib. As in G, that's a cool nib. But it's a pretty basic nib.
And they're inexpensive.
Yeah, nibs are really inexpensive. You can buy like a box of 10 nibs.
You can get this. Nib mania.
Yeah, you can.
They make great stocking stuffers.
Yeah, so here's a box of nibs, G nibs.
You need to position that better.
And yeah.
There you go.
So those are G nibs, and they're a good all-purpose nib. A lot of manga guys use them. You can use it. You can
manga
use it for,
guys and Danny Gregory.
You can use it for writing with as well, if you're so inclined. But I just love this, the quality of a drawing with India ink, which is, I use all kinds of pens, but there's just nothing like the blackness and the sort of solidity of India ink. It's really cool. And you can just see from all these different marks that I'm making how much variation you can get with a single nib.
Can everyone hear the scratch, 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 scratch?
You can hear.
Just be quiet for a while and let them hear, like meditate on the scratchy, scratchy.
So
that's some pen porn right there.
What is it called? ASMR? ASMR.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, ASMR. Pen style. Losing my place around here with this. Oh, and then you can hear pug breathing, pug snoring in the background too.
A segue, a reverse segue. When we talked about Veterans Day, I had in my head that I meant to thank Naomi, who is here helping us moderate. Everyone knows Naomi, who's when you're logged in and you see comments from Sketchbook School. Yeah. Her husband is in the Navy.
It's true.
She is our very good friend. Naomi works, we use a service called, oh no, now I'm blanking on it. Oh my goodness, that was really bad.
Well, we found Naomi through
Go Squared Away. Go Squared Away, yes. So they provide like contract work for wives or husbands, for spouses of active military, and it's fabulous. Anyway, thanks, Naomi.
Yeah, so this is, I'm not fitting the entire bird in, but I think the most interesting thing is his face.
I'm kind of bummed you're going to miss out on those honking feet.
Yeah, it's not a great picture. It's not a great view of the feet.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
because he seems to have like a bracelet on, like a shackle. Oh, Chris Seidel doesn't know about this. All right, I'm going to have to Google
ASMR. ASMR.
It's not ASMR. It's something.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Meaning. Okay, let me.
Is it ASMR?
No.
What is it then?
Oh, maybe it is. Okay, sorry. I'm gonna put it into the comments.
So ASMR is I don't know. It's a phenomenon that people.
I'll read it. Coined in 2010, ASMR, which stands for Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response, is a relaxing, often sedative sensation that begins on the scalp and moves down the body. Also known as brain massage, it is triggered by placid sights and sounds such as whispers, accents, and crackles, or scritchy scritches of drip pen.
It's sort of the opposite of nails on a chalkboard. I haven't personally experienced it, though. I think it's like your brain needs to be wired a particular way for you to have that experience. It sounds really cool, though. But if you go on YouTube and you just type in ASMR, there are thousands of videos of women talking into microphones,
or even like things like
brushing their hair and
right into the microphone like this.
All right, don't be creepy.
That's what it is, though.
Yeah, but it isn't like the way you're doing it. One, don't be creepy, and two, don't make fun of it. Yes.
I'm doing neither. I'm naturally creepy, but I wasn't doing anything particularly attempting to be creepier.
No, it's a real thing, and people, I think people find it. It's brain massage. People gotta get a brain massage where they can.
I like that idea. So that's one of the many benefits of using a dip pen. Brain massage, line variation, India ink.
Your owl is looking beautiful, I must say.
Thank you. But I'm kind of thinking I don't know that I want to put watercolor on it.
Come on.
I think I'll just ruin it. I think it's one of those drawings that looks good with That's all about the pen.
I think you got to at least do his eyes.
Really?
I don't know. I was anticipating the watercolor, and I was feeling excited about it.
Let's take a vote. I don't think I got his eyes quite right, but particularly this one, it's a little bit off. Needed to curve in more. But I suppose I could put a drop of white gouache in there, fix him up. Be a bit of a cheat, though.
I think people must be working because not very many people have commented, but it's like one person said no, one person said yes, another person said add some light washes of brown ink. A few more yeses trickling in.
Those are trolls. Only a troll would say.
Oh, this is interesting. Carolyn Noblet says Bob Ross is considered ASMR by some with his soft, gentle speaking tones and brush and painting noises.
Yep. And he's considered creepy by some too. Already have it.
Yeah, that's rude.
It's Bob Ross Day is coming up, by the way, isn't it? Or did
no,
it just happen?
It
just happened.
Yeah.
I
think it happened when we were in Colorado.
What are you supposed to do on Bob Ross Day?
I don't know. Paint little trees? Happy trees? When we were in Colorado, we did see some very happy trees. The aspens were changing color. It was lovely. I think we might have talked about that last week. All right, Laurel Ashlock. I was hoping to see the metallic paints on the owl. See, that's what I was looking forward to also. And why did I go get the hairdryer? Why did you put me through all of this trouble? Yeah.
Because I want you to feel useful. Like you have a purpose in life.
My purpose in life is to be Twiggy's mother.
And I was hoping that I could get, maybe get a blowout, get my hair straightened.
Yeah, cute.
What do you think?
I'm going to have to keep hoping for quite a while till the next lifetime or until you travel to India for hair plugs. So the other day I was in line at a government. I was trying to deal with our, government paperwork for the business. And there was someone who had helped me and I had to come back with some additional documentation. And when I got to the window after waiting in line, I couldn't remember the guy's name who had helped me. And he was so nice. And of course I had it written down right on the paper I was holding, but I didn't think to look there. So the lady behind the window was prompting me, trying to describe the various males of the office and asking me, did he look like this or did he look like that? And I was like, I can't remember. All I remember is he was really nice and he was bald. And then the woman started laughing and I said, but aren't they all? And the man who was at the window next to me got indignant and told me he went to India and got hair plugs and insisted I look, but they were quite good. But it was this whole thing. And they were all these stressed out people down at the Corporation Commission and the federal bill. It was we all had a laugh. So if you do want to get a blowout, I'm just giving you all of this information so that you're supposed
to say you look great the way you are.
I mean, you do, of course, and I love you to the end of the earth and back. But
what about a toupee?
If you did want to have a blowout, you could go get hair plugs in India. He said it was relatively inexpensive.
Seems like a lot of trouble.
I asked him if it was painful, and he didn't seem to want to answer that question. So I'm going to assume yes.
Was he Indian?
He was Hispanic.
Indian.
Yeah.
I mean, Indian people do have nice hair. Maybe that's the reason. I don't know. Thick blue-black hair.
I knew a lot of people.
Some don't. Some are bald.
When we lived in New York City, I knew people that would save money and go to India to get expensive dental work done. The dentists there are top notch. It's really a shame when you have to leave your country to get your dental work done.
Or your hair done. India. You need to go there to get some good food sometime.
I mean, we often have viewers from India, but no one's chiming in. Either I've offended or
they're all getting their hair done.
Contingent did not chime in today or did not join in today. Biz, teasing Danny. Should we have a draw with me where we give Danny different toupees? So not bald and beautiful. Remember we had bald and beautiful a couple of weeks ago?
We did do a hairstyle show with Vanessa. Do you remember that? A couple of years ago, we had Vanessa Brantley Newton, and we drew crazy hairstyles. Because she often wears, like, she has different hairstyles sometimes. Wigs and the like.
There's that ASMR. I think let's have like 1 minute of ASMR.
1 minute of it.
Yeah, because it's, I think, a palate cleanser. I'm gonna stop. Let's stop talking. Okay, I timed it. That was a minute. Wasn't that nice?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the silence.
Well, there was also some.
It allowed me to hear.
Monica said we can't hear the pen. Man, then that was just like a minute of nothing. Oh man, what a bummer. I feel I need to get our little snoring dog. You can ASMR that.
Oh, you want to give me? Here's your mic back.
There's ASMR. Pug snorts.
I think pugs can be good brain massagers. Why not? All right. Well, that's looking pretty good. But
Are you done?
I just.
Really not gonna do any paint, huh?
I think it's gonna be. Maybe I will. All right. Let's just.
You've got 15 minutes. Okay. Oh, soldier down.
This is an on program. This is the first time that you're watching Draw with me.
It's not usually like this.
It's not usually like this. Usually what happens is I come out, I do an incredible drawing.
I think you did do an incredible drawing.
Weeping.
Nobody weeps.
That's the only sound you hear is weeping.
Oh, Lordy.
Betsy Glass is asking about your moment of Zen. When was your moment of Zen?
No idea.
Yeah, that was at the end of the Daily Show when Stephen Colbert did it. I think. Could be wrong.
Okay.
Okay. How about ink?
How about metallic watercolors?
On an owl?
I mean, you know those feathers are iridescent.
I know, I just don't have my palette set up, so I don't know You know, that's what I could do actually, is I could do other colored inks in there.
Go for it.
Even a little sunshine yellow, perhaps. And a little bit of nut brown. It's a good thing to have extra nibs. Extra pen holders. This is why we have multiple nibs. Because I could, I could wash my pen, but not
in your coffee, the way you usually do.
It's been done that way. It's true. See, what's nice about this, as opposed to just putting a wash over it, is, it has some texture to it as well.
Toilet hasn't stopped licking her lips since I picked her up.
Yeah, I know. Maybe that's not what people hear.
I know. I'm gonna put her down. I'm sorry. I disturbed your nap, baby. Oh, I need some. Oh no.
Yeah, I think this is quite nice, actually, having a little bit of subtle color. What do you think?
I love it. I think it needed color. And I wanted my hairdryer efforts to be rewarded.
All I can say is you saved the show.
What would you do? Could a paper towel have equally?
No, because if you use a paper towel, first of all, with ink, a paper towel would be disastrous. A paper towel would be fine for like mopping up a mess, or maybe very, very carefully you could stick the corner of the paper towel into a big clump of ink and it would suck up some of the ink. But it's not gonna. The chances of a disaster are really pretty high.
Not recommended.
And then if you, the hairdryer just allows you to just knock it all back. And some of the nice things is like when you get like here, you can't really see it, but like some of these things of ink are actually pretty thick ink. They're reflective, actually. So now I'm going to have yet a third pen, hopefully.
Man, we were doing some mixed media this week.
Yeah.
Mixed media artists are really, really attached to their baby wipes.
Wrong nib, that's why. To their baby wipes.
Oh my gosh, we were baby wiping these pages left and right. It's like the essential mixed media kit.
Is that because they have they use a lot of kind of gloppy medium?
Yeah. Gloppy.
Gessos and
gloppy. Scritchy scratchy. Gloppy.
These are all technical terms. Don't be thrown by them. You can see that these brown feathers are kind of softer, almost like down underneath.
They talked about the incredible softness.
I wonder why that
Google.
is.
Well, it said to make them fly better.
Oh, because they're light?
I guess.
It probably keeps them warm also.
Stands to reason. But they have short little wings.
And
you can see, compared to the hawks we have, look at that little winglet. It is short.
Do they make nests? They must.
Of course they make nests. That's what we're trying to attract to our yard. You've forgotten the mission?
I'm bringing in brilliant green.
Oh, no.
What?
Are you going on the background? If you squint your eyes, and like kind of take the bird in the foreground out of there, the background looks like the Matrix. Look at it. Squint and look. It's the Matrix.
See, I have this, and I think that brilliant green combined with a little bit of canary yellow.
Oh, is it for the eyeballs? Hey! Oh, Danny. Hey, Carol Boss is here.
Oh, hi, Carol.
Carol says, are you going to add color to those wild eyes? Well, funny you should ask. And Drew says, wow, those inks are beautiful. Yes, they are beautiful. The labels are beautiful. Winsor and Newton ink. Drawing ink. Right, Danny? Winsor Newton drawing inks?
Winsor Newton drawing ink, yeah.
What makes them so good?
They are, they're beautiful colors. They're nice and transparent. They are,
I mean, maybe you want to not use a dip pen for these eyes? Oh, wow. I have fear in my heart.
this is obviously watercolor paper. But
100% cotton.
100% cotton paper.
Watercolor paper.
But it's really able to like take anything you throw at it, really. You know, a lot of paper would like start to shred when you're scratching away at it. But nothing's... So I think I might...
Well, and it's also 100% cotton paper in a sketchbook.
That's true.
And I believe the pages are sized on both sides.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. And we have Carol Boss to thank for the 4 units we're giving away.
That's right.
Thank you, Carol.
Yeah, I kind of like that. So I think I'm going to take that. I'm kind of liking this brush. So I think I'm going to do a bit more with the brush. I can dilute it a bit more, and I can also cover a bigger area. It doesn't have quite that textural feeling that the dip pen has, but works with it in conjunction with it. Yeah.
Are you going to do any writing? You've got 5 minutes. It's your 5-minute warning. It's like on a British baking show. Drawers, you have 5 minutes. Uh-oh, now you have 4 minutes. No?
Yeah, maybe I will. Maybe I shall. So many pens here, I can't even figure out which one is the right one. Okay, how about this?
Cute. Look at that.
I think that's nice.
I think that's delightful.
Thank you. All right.
All right, I think you're done.
I think I'm done.
Hands up. Step away. I mean, this is what they do on the baking show, right?
Yes. Snails is asking to talk more about the nibs. Okay, so let me just say, you can't go wrong with just buying a nib or two. If you see some nibs, you're asking about whether there's G Professionals and G Comic. They're probably the same thing, honestly. G is because of the structure of the nib. So if you look at this nib again, can you see here that this is sort of a G shape? You see that? Looks like a little G. And the reason that the slot is just a thing that holds the ink, so that when you dip it in, it holds enough ink so you don't have to dip again and again and again. That's what you want, is to have some of kind of a reservoir. That's what the G is. You might feel like I need to get exactly the right nib, and the reason you feel that way is because you've probably never used a dip pen before, and you feel like I need to get that exact right one to get the right effect.
No, it's different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, and the fact is, it's like most these kinds of nibs, and by these kinds of nibs I mean not really super flexible, like flexible nibs, or super hard nibs, or like a copper plate nib. Most of these nibs are, they vary. They vary in how you use them, and
just because you like it doesn't mean everybody will
this
like
is a
it,
common
right?
one. This is sort of the most generic kind of one, but I think it's not. It seems daunting just because it's new, and I would say just buy a few. Try a couple. They cost like $1 or $2. Buy a few different ones and try them out. When you first use them, it will probably be a disaster. They're difficult to use at first. They're bulking. And I taught a workshop on this, which I think
No, you can't buy it, so don't promote it.
Yes.
Anyway, you missed it. Look, we only have 1 minute. You got to tell people to share these owls. Okay. If
hold on a second.
You've got 1 minute. 1 minute.
I hope you've all enjoyed having JJ here. This farewell performance.
I'm going to go put peanut butter on some traps.
All right. So I just want to remind you of an awful lot of things here. Everything from the pen and ink wash, which is this weekend. Again, if you want to learn about using a pen, not a dip pen, but just about every other kind of pen, Chris Kaler is your man. And that's going to be this weekend. If you would like to get one of these beautiful 100% cotton Hahnemühle sketchbooks, write to us, info@sketchbookschool.com. Tell us why.
Include your U.S. only mailing address, no P.O. box.
Correct.
Come on, say this over and over, and then still half the people write with no address. If you write with no address, you're instantly deleted. Sorry.
Excuse me. That person off camera is responsible for ultimately dealing with your email. So hashtag SBS Draw with me. Show me your owl. Send those owls out. Don't email them to me, though, and don't send them to info@sketchbookschool.com.
You can send them to info. It's fine. Send them to info. Post them on social media.
Ideally,
Post them on the
what
art.
we'd like you to do.
Yep.
You don't mind if I just lower your microphone?
Yeah, but you're giving people bad info.
Info@sketchbookschool.com is fine. Email them there. What I would suggest you do instead, though, is share them. Put them out there in the world. Put them on Facebook. Put them on Instagram. Even if you say my owl's no good, it doesn't matter. Just do it anyway. And then tag it, hashtag SBS Draw with me. We go out and we look for all the ones that are on social media. We gather them, and we will show a procession of owls, a parliament of owls next week.
Parliament of owls. Wow, that was, you came.
Pull that one out of the
big, right at
the
the end, at the 11th hour.
The Art for All podcast
showed that Princeton education.
The Art for All podcast comes out every Monday. It is available here on YouTube. So if you'd like to just have it rambling in the background, or if you'd like to see the faces of the people talking, you can do that. Or if you want to just have it on your device, it's available wherever podcasts are available. And Danny'sEssays.com, I write an essay every Friday and another one every Tuesday. You can get them, the Friday one at least, for free. Just go to Danny'sEssays.com, sign up for it, and I'll send you one tomorrow. And if you must, subscribe to this channel so you'll know next time we do one of these, which will be next Thursday and every Thursday until there's nothing left but owls, and then we can stop.
And happy Veterans Day if you're in
Happy
the
Veterans
US.
Day.
Hope you can take the day off. And thank you, Naomi,
And we will see
who does our social media.
Yes, we'll see you next week. David T says a group of owls is a parliament. Isn't that what I said? Yeah.
Indeed you did.
Is a parliament.
Yeah.